Let me ask, let me ask you, is there one absolute truth or are there multiple truths? Is truth one simple thing or is it more of a complex thing? This is a cup of water. That's a simple thing, right? And then nobody's going to argue about this either. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
Truth is 100% true.
truth is 100% truth.
Yes.
And it's 100% true that this is water. Yes. So,
I like to know soup.
yes, this was soup. Yes.
No, but
So
if it was water, it was
nobody's going to say that it was soup or something like that. We all know it's water. But in the more complicated areas, then you can see that there's more than that. There's an argument between two big rabbis, Rabbi Evyasar and Rabbi Yonasan. This comes up in Gittin Daf Vav. And they meet Eliyahu Navi and they ask Eliyahu Navi, who's right? Is it Rabbi Evyasar or is it Rabbi Yonasan? And Eliyahu Navi says, Eila ve'ela divrei Elokim chaim. Hashem is saying in Shemaim, what he's saying, it's all true. It's all emes. How can that be? They would both agree that this is a cup of water, right? But when things are a little bit more complicated, then there's place to understand things a little differently. And there are different people in the world, and there are people that are more, they need the one truth. They need kind of a clear path. And there are other people that dafka need the complexity. Okay, there's in the Myers-Briggs test, the N and the S is that, right? The S means you take what you see outside inwards. It's basically saying that there's one type of truth that you see on the outside. N means you're thinking intuitive. It means you're thinking from the inside out. And then when you're thinking from the inside, then you can have different types of different types of truth. Let me tell you about. So we spoke in previous shiur. We spoke about Rabbi Simcha Bonim of Peshischa. Peshischa is in Poland. When you go from Lodz towards Warsaw, it's on the way over there. You can pull over and go there. And so Rabbi Simcha Bonim of Peshischa had two great Talmidim. And when he passed away, then his great Chassidus split. And it split, there's a big split between the Rebbe of Kotzker and the Rebbe of Vorker. Okay? So the Rebbe of Kotzker, you've heard of the Rebbe of Kotzker? The Rebbe of Kotzker is all about truth, all about emes, all about, he said the Isser of lo signov, not to steal, is not to steal from other people. But it's firstly not to steal from yourself, not to do avodat to yourself, not to trick yourself. Somebody came over to him once and he's like, oh, Rebbe, I'm so sad. I just discovered that all my Torah, it's a lie. And my davening, it's a lie. It wasn't serious at all. And so the Rebbe said to him, way to go. You've started the first step towards recognizing truth. You already know that what you're doing till now has been a lie. Let's work on the next stage from that on. It's a little hard to hear, right? He saw one of his Talmidim, it was Erev Pesach, and he saw one of his students.
You can't say it's a lie. It's steps to go somewhere now.
You can't say. The Rebbe Kotzker can say. The Rebbe Kotzker was seeing his student cleaning the floor so well because Pesach was coming. It was Erev Pesach. It was probably because it's cleaning the floors. And he said to him, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm getting rid of all the chametz. He said, what about the chametz in your heart? When are you going to get rid of that? There was once a student that came to him that said, I'm in need of money. I need money. I don't have a lot of money. I really need, a parnasa. So he said to him, you need money? He took out a coin and he put it on the table and he said, what do you see? He said, I see a coin. And he took it closer to his face. What do you see now? And what about now? He says, all I see is money. You see? He says, when you people, all they see is money. And when there's money in the way, then you're not thinking about your learning, you're not thinking about your davening, you're not thinking about what's really important. You're just thinking about the money. That's the Kotzker Rebbe. The Kotzker Rebbe at a certain point said, that's it, I'm not going to teach my Chassidim. He closed himself off in a room for like 20 years. And he got to eat, he would be with his family a little bit, but he wouldn't teach. He said, I can't. What do they come to me for? Rebbe, give me a bracha so I have money. Rebbe, give me a bracha so that I'm healthy. He's like, no, you need to change. You need to work out why spiritually this is happening to you and change what you've been doing. I don't want to be a Rebbe just for, giving out brachas. So that's the Rebbe Kotzk. The Rebbe Kotzk, when he was much younger, he went to the Chosem Lublin. Right? I said he's a Talmud of the Simcha Bonim Peshischa, which is generation number 6 of Chassidus. Okay, before Simcha Bonim Peshischa, there was a short time of the Yid HaKadosh. He's generation number 5. Okay, and then you have the Chosem Lublin, generation number 4. So he actually goes to the Chosem when he's much younger. He was like 14, 15. He goes to see the Chosem Lublin, and he learns by him a little bit at the beginning. And he speaks to the Chosem Lublin, and the Chosem already can tell then. This is before he even on Chassidus. He could tell that all he wants. We know people like this. So you know people like this. By the way, ISTJs are very much like this. Accountants are very much like this. Truth, it's truth. There's one truth. The mathematicians are one truth. Physicists are one truth. Scientists are one truth. And so the Chosem Lublin said to him, he said, the way you're going about it, the way you're living your life, you're blocking Shmuel. The way you're living your life, it's gonna lead you to depression. It's gonna lead you to depression because it's very hard to live a life of a scientist, a mathematician. I see these people in my office, in my clinic, and it's very hard for them in life. Firstly, they ruin their relationships a lot of times. It's hard to be around them, right? Around the Kotzker Rebbe, so he would strike fear in your heart and he would make you change. But it's hard to be around somebody like that, right? They're rigid. Things don't work. There's always, you're always clashing.
You don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable.
You don't feel safe or comfortable, that's right. So it's hard to, and so the Chosem Lublin says, what you're doing, you're going to end up being depressed. And the Rebbe Kotzk said, all I'm interested is in truth, and so be it. I need to pursue truth. And I have a lot of friends also who are like this. It's hard. It's hard to live in a place like this. So this is the one view of truth. Truth is one thing. I'll give you another view. There's another view, right? I said the Rebbe Peshischa, when he passed away, Simcha Bonim Peshischa passed away, the Chassidus split into 2. And you had the Kotzker Rebbe, and you had the Rebbe of Vorker, Rebbe Yitzchak Vorker. Rebbe Yitzchak Vorker got up in shul and he spoke about Moznei Tzedek, Ve'efas Tzedek, Ve'hin Tzedek Tasarachal. You must have your scales must be adjusted. Anybody remember talking about this recently?
Mm-hmm.
Your scale has to be, if you have a scale in your house that's not adjusted, throw it away. You can't even make it into a urinal. Avit shilmei raglaim is a urinal. You can't even make it into a urinal. That's what I'm wondering. What type of measuring? In my mind, what are we talking? It must be some sort of measuring cup, and that's pretty gross. It's a big measuring cup of sorts. But you can't even if it's wrong and you can't change it. You can't like rub it off and get it precise. Then throw it away. You're not allowed to keep it in your house. And is a machlok is actually between the poskim if that's what we're talking about. If we're talking about stuff that you use for mischar, for sales, of not a private person, but for sure a person that owns a shop cannot have the scales that are not adjusted in the fruits and vegetable shop. Were the scales always exact? It wasn't?
I have to set it over.
You have to reset it. It's a chiv deraisa to reset it,
Yeah.
to get it precise.
It resets me.
So Rabbi Yitzchak Mivarek spoke about this. He spoke about getting the scales precise and being very clear and exact with your measurements. And then came over to him, the guy that sells the milk in Voreki. Voreki. All these names are towns. Oh, you heard the story? I don't think you heard the story. I just learned the story today. So Rabbi Yitzchak Mivarek speaks about the scales, and he says you need to be precise, and comes over the guy that sells the milk, and he says to him, Rebbe, for years and years I've been selling milk, and I always put in some extra water. I always put in like a cup of water to 2 liters of milk. Yeah, and nobody's ever complained. But now that you've said this, I'm going to be more careful. No. Now that you've said this, I'll be precise. If I'm selling 2 liters, it'll be 2 liters exactly. No extra water. And the Rebbe said, way to go. And he came back to him a week later. A week later, he came to the Rebbe. He said, Rebbe, there's a problem. People have been complaining. Your milk doesn't taste as good. And so Rebbe Yitzchak, he picked up his hands to Shemaim and he said, oh, the world loves sheker too much. People are living in sheker. He said, so, you know what? Put water in the milk. Put just a drop of sheker, because that's the world we live in. What would the Kotzker Rebbe say about this? He would freak out. Because it's not truth. You're not being truthful. But Rebbe Yitzchak is looking at a more complicated reality. He's putting in the complexity. How does this tie into the Parsha?
What he should have done is make 2 different prices for 2 different. Maybe the one would be even more expensive.
Yes. So today in 2026, that's what you would do. You would do 100% milk, and you would do another one, the home special.
1% milk is more expensive. Even though you have less.
No, but they need to remove the fat.
They add water. That's the only.
No,
They don't add water, no.
They re-add the fat after.
But you can brand it as something.
Re-add just one word.
Just don't say 100% milk and you're okay. Write home milk or write summer milk, winter milk. I don't know. Make up something to make it sound whatever, and then sell it like that. And I guess in the ingredients you'll have to write milk and water. Old-fashioned milk.
They did that with Coca-Cola and it went terrible.
Oh.
They went back to they're like, yeah, new Coke. And they went back to their old recipe and it was terrible.
So you can see this this is kind of working with the complexity of the world. In the Parsha, there's a story. The Parsha speaks about Aaron HaKohen and his sons. Shmini, it's the 8th day, and we finally completed the building of the Mishkan, and Nadav and Avihu come forward, and they bring an Eish Zara. There's a certain requirement, right? We just, on Pesach, so we read through the Korbanos, right? Right, we heard about what you're supposed to bring for the Beis Hamikdash. It's very precise. There's no games over here. This is not a question of Kotzk or Voreki. This is whatever it says, that's what you have to bring. You cannot play games with this. You cannot, if it says to bring a korban, 1 korban, you can't bring 2. You can't bring a half a korban. You can't. It has to be precise. If it's 7 each day, then it's 7. It's not 8, and it's not 6 or 7. Yes, it's 7 nekuda. Now, you bring a ktores, right? So there's certain times when you can bring the ktores, it's like once a day. Nadav and Avihu decide to bring a ktores. They bring incense at a random time when they're not allowed to bring it. And what happens is they both die.
Why did-
Their souls come out of their nose. Very good. Their souls come out of. Why did they do it?
Yeah, also before Noah,
There's a lot of questions why they did it.
people didn't get sick. When they sneeze, their soul will come out of their nose. It says
Very good.
thing on it.
It says before Yaakov.
Oh yeah.
Before Yaakov, people would just walk in the marketplace, sneeze, their souls would come out of their nose and they would die. And Yaakov asked that people would know, and then Hashem said, you're going to get older, and that's how you're going to know. That's how you're going to be able to tell. Yeah. So old age starts from Yaakov according to that midrash. There's another midrash that says that Avram and Yitzchak look the same, just Avram was older.
What about there's new things that's gonna make people age much slower. Could live to 150.
Yeah.
What?
I'm actually.
You're not going to be able to live forever. All these people that say you can live forever, that goes against the Torah because
It's only on another 270 years.
you cannot live forever because we ate Adam Harishon ate from Eitz Hadas. He ate,
Is it
fruit,
60 years or something?
and so we have to die. At one point, you have to die.
Everybody's gonna die, but just
Yeah.
much longer. I don't really sure.
No, but there's some people in like Silicon Valley that fuse their blood with other things and do a lot of things through the day to keep themselves younger. They take young people's not the blood, but
But you did with their own.
plasma.
the plasma. Yeah, they take the plasma, put it in.
It
So,
doesn't really do anything yet. So
by the way, Zeta had to get plasma and he had to pay for it himself, and it was like 10,000 shekels for a shot.
Zeta.
That's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nothing is
plasma in
okay.
his blood.
Plasma? No.
So whatever, the infusion of the plasma. It's
Why
10,000.
did you pay it?
So if the people are doing it privately and they're doing it on a daily basis, they're paying a ton of money.
It's free
They
from
have a-
And they're not going to live forever. They can't because there's a xera that we're all going to die. Everybody here is going to die one day. There's no getting away from it.
He knows he's not gonna live forever. He's just trying to live for the long.
No, he thinks he's going to live forever. There's a guy that has all these YouTubes and he says that he's not. People ask him, "Are you going to die?" There's a polygraph. Are you going to die? What?
I might die from a car.
He says
crash.
no. Oh, maybe that. I'll die from a car crash, but I'm not going to die from natural causes. Okay, that is false.
I said he's gonna die from, no, from
Right.
choking on a broccoli.
Okay, let's backtrack to the Parashat.
50 pills.
And in the Parashat, we speak about Nadav and Avihu. They bring a Ketores, they're not allowed to bring it, and they both die. And there are a lot of questions why they died. I don't want to relate to that now. What I want to speak about is what happens after this. What happens after this is that the Korban Chatas that was brought by Aaron and his sons was supposed to be eaten because this is a korban avelim. There's a certain korban that they have to bring now because his two sons died, and Moshe says you have to bring the korban chatas is going to be brought, and you're going to have to eat from it, and they burn the whole thing. And Moshe says to them, "Why did you burn the whole korban? I told you you have to eat part of it." And then Aaron said, "We're sitting shiva. You cannot ask. It's not right to eat meat now. You know, we're mourning our sons. We're feeling bad. We don't want to sit down and eat a slap-up meal with meat. It doesn't match our emotional state." And Moshe says, "That's okay. That's okay." This is the very first machlokas in history, which you could see over here. Moshe says burn it. Aaron says not to burn it. Then Aaron explains it, and then Moshe agrees with him. It says Moshe agrees with him. So sometimes things are more complicated. Sometimes people tell you things, and you think it's very simple, but there's actually something
But
deeper
at the end
behind
of the
it.
day, it's always one truth.
At
In
the
that
end of the
case,
day-
the truth was not to burn because both agree.
At the end of the day, there's one truth, no? Eilu
The
ve'eilu,
one truth is
divrei
Hashem.
Elokim chaim.
It would have been better
There has to
to
be
eat
one.
some of the
There
meat.
has to be.
There
It
has
would have been
to
better to eat some of the meat.
there has to be one truth at the end. By the way, it's very good that quantum physics has been discovered, because that shows you how complicated reality actually is.
Yeah, string theory.
String theory,
Schrodinger's cat.
things are in a few different places at once. You know that? According to string theory, you find things, a proton can disappear here and reappear here, it could be here and here at the same time. There's something called superposition. With Schrodinger's cat, there's superposition. He's dead and alive. You put a cat in a box, and you have radioactive waste that may or may not release the waste into the air and kill the cat. 50% it will, 50% it won't. So the cat, as long as he's in the box, is dead and alive at the same time. If I take a coin, if I flip a coin, when the coin's in the air, it's in superposition. It's heads and tails at the same time. Afterwards, when it lands, then we'll find out what it actually was. There's
בעצם בגמרא, בגיטין כ"ה,
the
התברר
Gemara.
הדבר או לא התברר.
There's a Gemara.
כל עוד שזה, עד שזה יתברר, it's in superposition.
Okay.
ויש הרבה מחלוקות. שזה יתברר, באמצע, זה מעניין.
At
But
the
at the
end-
end of the day, there is one truth: the cat is either dead or alive, and you don't know that.
But
But
there's
it
no,
doesn't.
what if there's no end of the day?
You don't know that, so that the
There's
okay
now.
before it happens, it's false. After it happens, it's true. You do
Yeah,
it.
but there's now.
ככה זה when it goes. כשאני עושה, if it doesn't happen, it's false.
If it's in the middle, happening. It's false.
Listen,
If it happens, it's
this
Why
phone,
it's gonna take
is it
years.
5 centimeters or is it 15? What is it?
both.
So,
It's
but if
not
you want to say,
Yeah.
you want to throw it up in the air and see what.
But it's not either
A lot-
5 and 10 or 15 and 20. It's two truths at the same time. not kesher.
When you are describing a more complicated reality, a lot of times
It
you
appears
can't-
to be.
you
or
can't-
Excuse me.
get round all of it.
It appears to be 50-50.
It's 75.
You can't, but there is one truth.
It's 75 square centimeters.
There are multiple truths.
No.
There can be multiple truths.
The-
I'll tell you, at the end of the day, when you have to behave in one way, you have to behave. Yeah, Shimon Panim Torah, very good. But you have to behave in one day. So, is kitnios mutter or asur on Pesach?
That only Hashem
It-
knows, but he knows the truth. So it's not.
Hashem is going to say that the Sephardi guy that eats rice on Pesach is a tzaddik.
The fact that you don't
The
know
Ashkenazi guy here that doesn't eat rice is a
the
tzaddik.
fact that he don't know the truth doesn't mean it's not true or false.
What was okay with Aaron and Moshe? What was right? Were they supposed to burn the whole korban or were they supposed to eat it?
That Hashem knows.
Moshe said eat it. Aaron said we can't eat it because we're avelim.
One
And
of
then
them.
Moshe agreed
I
with
say
him.
they
What are
should
they
have
trying to do? Let's
make-
on Hashem.
to bring them
Not
out
Let's on
there.
Hashem. Not we're there. And if he tells them, that will be the truth.
Why didn't they ask?
Went to ask Hashem.
Why didn't Aaron come to Moshe and say, listen, we
Aaron knew this was right, and Moshe agreed with him.
But the higher.
It wasn't a b'diavad. It wasn't like a mistake. He agreed with
So
it.
that it's not a superposition. That means it's true. That means that's true.
Yeah, it's true. If it was,
How
religion,
did
it would
it
go.
stop at
There's the
Moshe?
whole. There's a whole triangle.
Can
of
Aaron
how
be
it goes.
cholek on Moshe? It's a good question. Moshe agrees with him,
The
and
thing-
Aaron knew he would agree with him.
Okay, יש מחלוקות, יש פעמים שזה, even though בת קול אומרת, you can bend the truth. That doesn't mean that's not the new truth. Doesn't mean there's a superposition. Even if you bend the truth, that's the new truth.
There's
So
a
there's
question
always true and
about
false.
Tanuro Shel Achnai. There's an oven, and they took it apart. It was tame. They took it apart. They put it back together. Now, is it tahor or not? Rabbi Eliezer says it's tahor. Chachamim say it's tame. Rabbi Eliezer says it's tahor, and I'll prove it to you. If I'm telling the
זה
truth,
בדיוק מה שאמרתי, בת קול אמרה,
if I tell the truth,
Start
then
shaking
that
everything, the river
tree over
has
there,
to-
bending the truth.
there's a carob tree over there. Carob trees are huge. That carob tree is going to move. And it picked up and it moved 100 amas that way. If I'm telling the truth, then the amat hamayim, the water
So,
duct, will go the other way.
but
And
the
it
truth
turn the
was
other way.
bent, זה לכן, בגלל שזה רבים. You can change the truth. That doesn't mean that's not the new truth.
לא פה ולא בשמיים.
The truth is not Ben.
ככה תוכל
It's
להיות.
also both.
No, the real truth is מה שרבי אליעזר אמר. אבל בגלל שיש את החוק שאי אפשר לעבור עליו, שיותר חשוב, שרבים...
No,
ולכן that's
the rabbis are also correct here. right?
Fighting about the ship of
No.
Then-
יש משהו
They were
נכנס
correct.
לפני, כמה סיפורים.
No, Rabbi Eliezer was correct before
The
המחלוקת.
ship
After
is
that, they bent the
easiest.
מחלוקת, and now they were that was
Places
true.
the parts, and then at the end of the
You're
day,
giving
all
one
the
explanation.
parts
I'm not sure that
still
that's the true, correct explanation.
Still the same ship.
It doesn't seem logical in the other way.
I'll give you a logical.
The ship. You replace parts every single time.
Yes,
And
right.
then is it considered
right.
the same ship?
That's a
Because
philosophical question. If you take a ship and you
So-
and you take off pieces and pieces,
It's
and then
similar-
eventually after many years, you're not talking about the same ship anymore because you've taken off all the pieces. But is it the same ship? Because it still has the same name, still has the same functions. Your body every 7 years replaces every single cell inside it.
But your soul is the same.
Is it still you?
Yes.
Or is it me from 7 years ago and me from
Depends
7 years
what you're
before
talking
then?
about.
Your
If
soul-
it's the
your
body,
soul
then
is
it's
the
not.
same.
Talking with the soul is different. But there's
Okay,
true
these are-
and false.
These are all good philosophical questions, and there's a lot of debates about them. It's not very clear. Can God make a stone and that he can't move? That he can't pick up?
Yes, but he could still pick it up.
Do you agree?
That's the right answer.
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher.
In Kiddush and Shul, we discussed this, and
Except the superposition.
this is what you said over here makes the most sense to me. That yes, he can make it, and yes, then he can pick it up. No, he can make it and he can't pick it up. That's what makes the most sense to me. He can't pick it up because he has the ability.
But that means he
To-
doesn't have the ability to do everything.
The ability to letzamtzem yourself is also an ability. The ability to constrict myself is also an ability.
But you see, that's the new proof. Not official, so.
This actually makes more sense to me that he can't pick it up then. But it seems to me that most people are actually saying what Meir just said,
Yeah.
that he can make it and then he can pick it up. Most people that I've heard relate to this question have said that. But you see, there's a complexity over here. There's a complexity, and
Until we get to the truth, which is true or false. Or bending
the truth is more deep than the way we look at it. By the way, whenever somebody tells me a Dvar Torah and he says, this is emes, this is truth, then I know it's for sure not true. Because he's deciding right away, this is truth, this is emes. Then I know it's not true. And why is that? I'll tell you.
I think because you're more tuned into like why is it?
Yes.
No, when he says that, there's a part of him that's taking over that's saying this is truth. I'll tell you, when you want to get to the truth, you cannot be overtaken by different parts, by different emotions. If you're angry, if you're sad, if you're overexcited, you're gonna make mistakes. Yeah? I have a client that tells me he fixes cars, and sometimes he skips stuff he's supposed to be doing. He skips a level. He's supposed to first put this and then put that in, and he skips it by mistake every now and again because of his emotional state, because he's
Doesn't
under
reconnect
stress.
the brake line.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't end up actually killing anybody or causing any damage. He just has to, he knows at the end he fixes it up. He makes it work. Okay? But just know, I can tell you this for sure. When you're very over emotional,
Yeah.
you're gonna make a mistake. And the son is coming up to me, this is the emes, this is the emes. Then he has this convicted feeling that something's wrong over there.
I also have that skeptic part that if somebody says this is truth, I don't believe it. It's the skeptic part. That's why I love Judaism, because Judaism is questions.
Oh,
It's
we
all-
encourage
We
questions.
encourage questions. We always ask questions.
That's right. We encourage questions. By Christians, it's believe. Just believe.
So we have that.
And by
part.
Muslims also, it's about believing. By Muslims, you don't want to ask questions. You know, Muslims don't pray specifically for stuff. They don't ask for parnasa. A Muslim will not daven for parnasa, for livelihood. He won't pray for health, because they feel that's small menial stuff. You pray for the important things. There is actually thought like this in Judaism also. Right? There is a little bit of a thought. On Rosh Hashanah, they say this.
Thing has the.
Yeah, if I'm healthy, then I
Every
can
single-
Hashem.
Mhm. There was an argument between God and the angels. This is a midrash. The midrash says Hashem argued with the Malachim. Hashem wanted to bring emes down into this world. The Malachim said, "Chosamcha emes." Your chosam is emes, and this is an olam hasheker. You can't bring your emes into this world, and they wanted to stop him. They can't stop him, but they argued. So Hashem, what did Hashem do? He took emes and he threw it down on the ground. And that's why it says, Emes me'eretz titzmach. Truth will rise from the ground. That's what it's a pasuk in Tehillim. And what does that mean? That means that emes is a process. Truth is a process. It's not yes and no, it's not a black and white thing. Emes is a process. You need to have the information. You need to work through it. You need to understand it.
How could that
Sleep on it.
How could that be that Hashem doesn't do the right thing at the start?
Yeah, how does he not know what's the perfect thing?
This is the Olam Hasheker. This world is about lying. It's about you're just chewing gum over there. That's tricking your brain to think that there's sugar inside it. It's tricking your brain to think that there's food in your mouth, right? How much lies do we have? How are we living, right? Well, what do you do? How do you behave outside and you behave inside? Why are you behaving differently inside and outside? A Kotzker behaves outside like he behaves inside. Tocho kavaro. Rabban Gamliel said, anybody that comes to the base midrash has to be tocho kavaro. You have to be on the outside like you're on the inside. If this person behaves differently when he's outside, he's all nice, and then when he comes home, he yells and breaks stuff in his house, he's not tocho kavaro. You have to have a person who's a complete person. All of these, to get to anyone, these are levels that you get to through complexity, through processes. Nobody was born with truth. You're born with sheker. And emes me'eretz titzmach, the truth rises from the ground through a process. You water the plant, you water it again, you give it nutrients, and then the tree grows. And then and then you know that the truth is here. It's not, you can't shoot out truth. It's a process.
Yesterday, be different today. The more you learn, the more time goes on.
The Al-Shech HaKadosh, when you go to Tzfat, you can visit the Al-Shech HaKadosh's shul. And the Al-Shech says, they know what to say about the Al-Shech, that he would cry every day and do tshuva for why wasn't I yesterday on this level? Today I'm on a higher level, and so I'm crying that yesterday I wasn't on this level. It's part of the tshuva. It sounds a little unusual, but
A snake eating its
that's
tail.
the snake eating its tail. It's the Ouroboros. Ouroboros, but rising every day on a different level. You're going back to the beginning, but you're back to the beginning on
Should be
at
happy.
higher up. It's a spiral, yeah.
Be happy, not sad.
Yeah, I'm now on a higher level. Why don't you be sad that I wasn't on a higher level? I'm now on a higher
You
level.
couldn't be there.
It doesn't have to do it. Look off.
Because yesterday you were there, but today you're here.
Okay, so we're approaching the end of the shiur over here. We've spoken about truth, spoken about the Rebbe Zavorki, the Kotzker Rebbe. And what happened at the end? Today you see Chassidim. A lot of them come from Kotzk. Because Gur comes from Kotzk. They don't come from Vorki. But where's Vorki? Where are all those Chassidim? The ones that held truth, and I'm going to burn on the stake for truth, I'm not adding a little bit of water into my milk because there's sheker in the world. Dafka, the truth, they managed to box themselves in and deliver to the next generations. And for some reason, like Gur, which is one of the biggest Chassidus, they come from that echelon, from that branch.
Say emet, the word emet, where you spell it in Tava Shuri, יש לו רגליים, א',
Oh, yeah.
and sheker is
Sheker and Lorgam, Emes Yesh Lorgam. It's a Gemara. Emes is letter number 1 is Aleph, letter in the middle is the Mem, and the letter at the end, the Taf. So it can stand. Sheker are they all together? Shin, Kuf, Reish, Taf. At the end of the alphabet, they're all together, and they don't have, and so they're close together. Also right.
Like this, the Reish only has one, and the Kuf also only
The
has
Shin,
one.
Kuf, and the Reish, they only have little legs, whereas the Aleph has a standing. The Mem has a standing. The Taf has a standing. They have to stand on 2 legs. So they have legs. Very good. And so we do strive, everybody strives for truth. It's just there's a complexity behind it. And all of them agreed, all the rabbis agree that if you're a Sephardi guy and you're eating rice on Pesach, you're doing the right thing. When you go to Shema, you're going to get, Hashem's going to give you schar for that. And if you're an Ashkenazi guy and you don't eat rice on Pesach, you're gonna come to Shema, you're gonna get sachar for that. There's a complexity in the world. God is not saying God brought down to the world. He brought a complex Torah, and there's Beis Shammai and there's Beis Hillel, and there's Machloksim, and there's different approaches, different Bati Midrash. Okay, the more things become complex, the more you have branches of it. Right?
But that wasn't an emotional level.
Yes,
They
it wasn't.
married each other.
They married each other, even though they argued. They married each other. His daughter married his son. They were close together. They were friendly together. In learning, they had their different opinions. And so, bottom line of today is we do strive for truth and we do want truth. We do accept the other person's truth as well. And we're also open to us maybe making a mistake and not really knowing if it's true or not. Truth is not black and white. Truth is a process that rises from the ground.
And when Mashiach comes, is he gonna tell us, oh, Kidneos is wrong or Kidneos is right, or everybody's right?
Mashiach's going to say everybody was right.
And then this is the new truth. The Kitnius was wrong.
No, he's going to say everybody was right.
You're gonna get your schar because this is how you're taught to be. אתה צריך להיות השם מביא לך את השכר וזה לפי מה שזה אבל
You're going to get the same schar as him who ate the rice.
but there is a truth.
He's going to get the same schar as you. He did 40 days slichus. You only did the
השכר
slichus.
לא משנה את זה שיש משהו נכון ומשהו לא.
Okay, fine. So that's not a measure. That's not a way to measure truth or not truth. Okay, it's a nice point. Okay, but Elianav is going to say elu ve'elu divrei kumchaim. That is a way to measure it.
Things that we say, teach me every way, that's for sure.
There are things we don't know. You have to be able to say, I don't know. Well, Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson, he says, ask me any question. That's totally fine, because if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. People that have a problem with saying I don't know, then you can't ask every question, because they might be embarrassed. They might try and force an answer. But if I don't know, I'm just going to say I don't know. And you need to be able to say that as well. And here also Mashiach should come soon.